All right, Kyle, can you go check YouTube real quick and Instagram?
Yeah.
Put something on
I'll
my list.
introduce myself a little bit.
Tell me when we live, because I'm definitely putting on Vaseline right now.
We're live.
Hey.
Welcome everyone to our masterclass. We're so excited to have you guys on here with us. This is our mindfulness and meditation masterclass. We'll be having the amazing speakers Simone Mariposa and our wonderful moderator Yolanda Walker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to be a part of great things happening. And of course, the National Black Doula Association always have great things happening. We want to welcome you to this session where we'll be talking about mindfulness and meditation techniques with Miss Simone Mariposa. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. Thank you very much. We want to introduce her and just give a little bio on Simone a little bit. Simone is an LA native, all right, Los Angeles, and she's based out of Atlanta. She's a content creator, second generation full spectrum doula, actor, host, body liberation activist, making waves in the realms of birth work, beauty, fashion, and media. Since 2015, she has cultivated an audience of over 200,000, all right, across social media platforms. What I do know about Simone, she's authentic, she's sincere about what she does, she's very passionate and compassionate about her families, about Black families, Black women, which is very important. So I sidetracked a little bit. Sorry about that. In addition to her work as a doula, Simone is a co-host of Fly Talks podcast and a talented performer, having appeared as an actress, singer, and improviser at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in LA. She's passionate about creative, positive, and realistic representation of plus size people. All right, represent the big girls, and advocating for often overlooked demographics and leaving a lasting impact on the world. I want to welcome Simone. Thank you for joining us, and it's your stage. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everyone in the space. And I appreciate what a beautiful introduction. Um, but yes, my name is Simone, and I am excited to be bringing this conversation to this platform. You know, it's really important for us to talk about ways that we can incorporate mindfulness into our daily practices, especially considering ourselves as doulas and how it's really important for us to put in the work towards ourselves so that we can pour into our clients. So I have prepared a presentation for us. Let me see. I don't know if you can see. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so today's topic, we're talking about embodying self-love, and it's more specifically the sacredness of the Black body and radical self-love in birth work. So there was already an introduction about me, but I'll tell you just a bit more about my background. So my name is Simone Mariposa, doula, content creator, thought leader, intuitive inspirer, speaker, storyteller, and body liberation activist and advocate. And I'm extremely passionate about inspiring Black women and women of all shapes and sizes to embrace self-love, healing, and personal transformation. Through my work, I really focus on championing for body positivity and how it integrates into spiritual growth, and how radical self-love and self-acceptance is a form of liberation and activism. So at these points, if you're just listening, it's fine, but I would love for you to think about a word that you would use to describe your body today. Like, for example, for me, I can admit I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I feel that my body is tired. However, what I like to remember is that my body has carried me through so much. And so even in these moments, if there is a negative thought that comes up or a negative word or a word that may not be as high vibrational as you want it to be, just remember to give your body a bit um, of encouragement because it carries you throughout the day. So, the sacredness of the Black body. For me, my work really is focused on, as I mentioned, radical self love and how we reclaim our bodies. When we reclaim our bodies, we are reclaiming the ancestral wisdom that is placed within us, that was also stripped away from through colonialism and enslavement and capitalism. There are so many initiatives and advertisements and marketing that consistently removes women's autonomy and closeness to their bodies because it's seen as there's always something better, there's something to attain, and that our bodies are constantly in need of change and that we shouldn't trust our bodies. And so there's a large disconnect when it comes to the way that we relate to our bodies, our vessels that carry our spirits. And even more specifically, especially with Black women, we experience a lot of medical bias and fat phobia. And essentially, fat phobia, for those who may not be aware of the depth of that word, essentially, when it comes to the medical realm, it's the prejudice or discrimination experienced by people who are considered overweight or obese within the healthcare system. And in the body liberation spaces, the words like overweight and obese are often seen as like very limiting words just because they were put in place by the BMI, which is a very outdated term. And so, for example, the question here I have is, what's one way that you see medical bias impact Black bodies? So just think about this for a second. What comes up for you? Especially as doulas, could it be that, you've dealt with a client whose doctor was extremely belittling to her because it is seen that Black women have a higher pain tolerance? If you have had a larger body client where doctors or nurses rough with her, even the way that we notice that a lot of doctors talk to our clients when it comes to pushing and pain tolerance. It's always this, not always, but there have been moments where the doctors are like, you know, um, oh, it's not that bad, or oh, stop screaming, or you don't have to yell, ways to kind of keep our pain inward. I've seen that a lot with my clients as well. And so um, it can be very, very frustrating to experience that. And even in my own experience as a plus size woman, I've definitely experienced medical bias. So, for example, I was dealing with some menstrual issues and I spoke to my doctor about it. And he immediately said, it's probably because of your weight, which frustrated me because I've been plus size my entire life. So I'm thinking, this can't be the only reason. Like, if this were the case, this would have happened earlier. But I advocated for myself. I got additional testing, found out that I had fibroids. So these ways that we are pushing to advocate ourselves and our Black bodies, um, advocate for our Black bodies, really does help us in our wellness in the long run. So, radical self love as a form of resistance. Many of us have had troubled relationships with our bodies. And so, this is a wonderful book by Sonia Renee Taylor, who is a body liberation advocate. And she's written and had many of great discussions about what radical self-love looks like. So if you would like this book recommendation, definitely go for it. But ways for us to heal our relationship with our bodies is to release the shame. There have been many of accounts, I know for me, when family members or friends or the people around me have made me question my body and if it was beautiful and if it was strong and if it was healthy. So when I release that shame, it helps me to reclaim my power and the strength that my body has. Secondly, we're setting boundaries with harmful narratives. As I mentioned, there's a lot of advertising and marketing that is geared towards women constantly needing to change and chase this idea of what beauty is. And so this could be a call for you to, you know, distance yourself from those advertisements. If you see an ad on your timeline on social media, you can block them. If you're following someone who makes you feel bad about your body because of whatever comparison you have, maybe put them on mute. There are ways for you to set boundaries that empower you, not for the sake of belittling anybody else's accomplishments, but more so to center yourself in your own growth and healing. And then thirdly, we're finding joy in movement and nourishment again. There's this idea that exercise and um, being healthy or being fit requires pain. We talk about no pain, no gain when we're in the gym. And a lot of uh, that language has kind of disrupted our relationship with movement. And so there are ways to find joy. You can dance, stretching, going outside for a walk, being in nature, and also the way that you eat, eating foods that make you feel good, eating foods that are nutritious and nourishing for you. There's ways to once again heal the relationship with our bodies, our relationship with food, and the relationships with how we speak to our bodies as well. And then this is an affirmation that I like to say all the time. And if you are listening, definitely you can say this out loud to yourself or, a whisper within. I choose to love myself exactly as I am. And that is what radical self-love is. So when it comes to food, freedom, and nourishment, as I mentioned in the last slide, we're finding joys in movement and nourishment again. So dismantling diet culture in our birth work when it comes to our clients. Oftentimes, new moms are worrying about gaining too much weight or worrying about the snapback and wanting to make sure that they maintain their figure. And it's really important for us as doulas to remind our moms that they are carrying new life. They are ushering life into this world. They are powerful portals. And so it's important for them not to focus so much on what their bodies should look like after birth, but rather what their bodies have done and are able to do, and honoring them for that. Secondly, weight does not determine health. I mentioned it very briefly, but that BMI, which is the body mass index, is actually an outdated and biased measure of health. So, especially with Black bodies, a lot of us tend to be thicker naturally. And so the the study was run based on white people. And so, or non-melanated people, white people. And so that we know through our history that our bodies behave differently. And so it's it's an outdated system, and it's something to definitely be addressed. Weight does not determine health. Weight can contribute to health, but it's not a defining factor. And then eating intuitively and joyfully. Food is not the enemy. For me, I have reframed my food language. So I have always foods, sometimes foods, and once in a while foods. So my always foods are like my fruits and vegetables, my healthy fats, things like that. My sometimes foods are maybe like, the sweet treats, things that we don't want to create too often or add too often into our diet just so that we maintain the balance. And then the once in a while foods, because I don't believe in completely restricting myself. You can definitely have what you desire in moderation. So those are the once in a while foods. And then if you would like to review here, the intuitive eating principles, you know, rejecting the diet mentality, honoring your hunger. So when you feel full, you honor that. Making peace with your food, challenging the food police. When people are saying, "Oh, do you want to eat that?" Even within yourself, you have your own food police. Discovering your satisfaction factor. So as I honoring your hunger means knowing when you're hungry and eating, but also knowing when you're full, and then feeling your fullness. Coping with your emotions with kindness. So if you do have some food wounds that come up, negative emotions or low vibrational emotions, honor them with kindness. Be kind to yourself. Respecting your body, not restricting too much after you feel like you've eaten too much, that is restrictive eating, and we want to avoid that. Movement, feeling the difference, if you want to get up and walk around so that your food settles. And then honoring your health with gentle nutrition. So that's similar to what I mentioned about reframing your food language and knowing the foods that are good for you, and definitely including that in your daily diet. And so this is the question for you to ponder on. What's one way that you can nourish your body today beyond food? So that can be, having a little dance party, crying if you need to. There are so many ways that food does nourish our body, but there are also external ways that you can nourish your body as well. And then add doulas as advocates for body liberation. How doulas can empower birthing people and our clients that we work with using body affirming language. As I mentioned before, we often we often see that our new moms may be not so kind to their bodies when it comes to growing new life. So they may call themselves fat. And for me, I have reclaimed the word fat, so I don't mind it so much. But there are people who use it derogatorily as well with themselves and with others. And so we definitely want to be mindful about the languages that our clients are using and affirming them in their beauty and their power and ensuring that we are pointing out when they're using that language and how we can steer them towards something that's more fulfilling and enriching for their development of their bodies and also their baby's development. And secondly, we have teaching self advocacy in medical spaces. As we know, that's one of the major roles of a doula with our clients is to help them to advocate for themselves. There are times when we advocate for our clients, but the most important thing is that we remind our clients that they have a voice. And so if they find that their doctor is being um, if their doctor is being belittling towards them, or if their doctor isn't really listening to them with their concerns, and if they're in pain that doesn't feel like it matches what labor is supposed to be, things like that, that's where we want to teach self advocacy for our clients. And then creating safe, inclusive spaces, knowing that our clients should know and must know that their bodies, their feelings, their emotions, their personhood is safe in our care. And so it's really important for us to ensure that our spaces align with what our clients' needs are. And so they have the space and they have the room to fall apart if they need to and to question what their bodies can do if they need to. And our roles as doulas are to support them as they rebuild themselves up and they prepare for, parenthood. And so I encourage you to join me in this heart centered reflection. I'm just going to guide us through some affirmations. So, if you would like to join me, take your left hand if you're seated. If you have the ability to close down your eyes, take your left hand and place it on your heart. Take your right hand and place it on your belly. Your left hand is your receiving hand, so we're receiving love from our hearts, and your right hand is your giving hand. So we're putting that love into the center of our beings, into our souls. So take a deep breath with me, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you'd like to join me, you can say this aloud or you can just hear me say it with you, say it for you as you sit in this space. My body is sacred. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. My body is powerful. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I am worthy of love. Last one, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allow what we've learned, what we've covered to settle in your spirit, to know that you are reclaiming the power of your body, that you are empowering your clients and the people around you to reclaim the power of their bodies, to embody radical self love, to show up authentically, to challenge the norm, and to instill confidence and power into each client that you come in contact with. Thank y'all so much for listening, for being present for this masterclass. Once again, my name is Simone Mariposa. You can follow me here. These are my socials. It's my Instagram, Simone Mariposa, my TikTok, The Simone Mariposa, and my YouTube, which is Miss Simone Mariposa. And if you have any questions, if you'd like to just, contact me about doula services, if you're in the Metro Atlanta area, or any other inquiries, I have other personal services that I offer, definitely email me at SimoneMariposa93@gmail.com. Or I forgot to add my other email, thebutterflybirthdoula@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Awesome job, Simone. Thank you. That was
Thank
amazing. Like,
you.
it was wonderful. Like, did a little deep breathing exercises. Got myself to calm down a little bit from the hectic day. So
Love
thank
it.
you
That's what I want. That's what
very
I
much.
desire for all of us. So I'm glad.
Yes, it really does like calm you down and calm your brain and all of that. So that's very, very good. Thank you so much. I think Joy was going to do some questions, but I want to make sure if there's some questions.
So we don't have any questions for this evening, but thank you for doing this amazing presentation, Simone. You got a lot of great feedback in the comments.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you. Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
grateful.
If we can put in the chat her contact information as well, in case anybody want to contact you and get some doula services or other services you provide, we want to make sure that's available to them. I just have a couple announcements. We're going to make sure everybody get on with their night and have a great evening, but we want to mention some events that's happening this month with National Black Doula Association. There's your Journey to the Doula World, which is on March 19th at 7 p.m. It's when just some more information about being a doula or whatever topic that they have for being a doula. The next one is Practice What You Doula. This is like an informational session. It's on March 29th. Nope, 10 a.m. That's not right. I'm sorry. Journey to the Doula World is the info session for the doula. So I apologize about that. March 19th, 7 p.m. Practice What You Doula is like another educational session. It's a workshop and they have a topic this month. I'm not sure about what it is, but it's always a great topic. They're bringing in a panel. I do know that. Joy, I'm sure Joy knows the information. You want to plug in real quick, Joy?
Yeah, so our Practice What You Do for March Saturday the 29th at 10 a.m. will be remembering Anarcha. We will have the director of Remembering Anarcha and the author of Say Anarcha, and we'll have a panel with a midwife as well as another birth worker to speak about the wonderful, journey us as Black women have had to go through to get to this point and to be able to reclaim this birth space. So please join in. Again, it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joy. I'm sure I'm going to have to tag in you again, so don't go far. There is a doula reading nest. It's March 21st. I believe that's a Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as well. It's like a book reading club. And what books are you on this month, Joy?
We are currently on Killing the Black Body, and then after this, we'll be starting Sayonarka.
Okay. So those are the books that we are starting. It's one more thing I know we're going to do. I think it's a movie night as well, Joy, on a Friday, I believe. It's about the midwife
Yes.
story, right?
Yep, it will be March the 28th. We'll be remembering Frances Coley because this is Women's Month. We want to
Yes.
recognize some of our granny midwives.
Awesome. I'm like, I knew it was a one about the midwives, and I love the midwives. Like they just know, you know what I'm saying? They just know, and that's how I got here too. So, and my children and my family. So midwives are important to our society. The last thing we have is the coffee, tea, and everything in between gathering. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be a part of that gathering. Come see me, register for the events. All the events are on the website at blackdoulas.org. Under the events page, you can register there. I hope to see you because I'm looking forward to meeting all our doulas in the Phoenix area. If there are anything else, I don't think there is. Joy, is there anything else? Let me make
Nope,
sure.
we're all good this evening.
We are all good this
All
evening. Have
right.
an excellent evening. Enjoy your night. If the sun is still up, enjoy the sun. If the moon is out, enjoy the moon. Just
Yes.
enjoy your evening. Have a great one. Be well. Thank you.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.